This month marks the 20th anniversary of an inquiry which cast a harsh spotlight on one of this country's most despicable and deadly health scandals. Tens of thousands of Canadians victims of a mass infection. Avery.
And Gord, secrets and scandals often go hand in hand. It's unusual, though, for someone to share their secret in the hopes of reviving a scandal. But that's exactly what's about to unfold in tonight's Inside Story. Nothing that you're looking at in this picture was ever supposed to be. Not the beautiful children, nor the gorgeous wife. But most of all, not this man's wonderful life.
I should have died 100 times over by now, and I'm still here. That's luck.
Andrew Cummings is a successful Toronto derivatives trader. He's been keeping a secret for decades.
I have a hedge fund on Bay Street. I have clients. I mean, they're going to be shocked to see me on this television show.
Andrew's secret is tied to a long-ago scandal, and in some ways it begins back in 1959 when he was born with severe hemophilia. Andrew's blood doesn't clot. That means for his entire life he's had to infuse himself 3 to 4 times a week with other people's blood products.
Got to find a vein, get in there, pull blood back, and then pump in a big load of other people's serum.
Andrew leads a healthy, active life despite the hemophilia. And then in the summer of 1980, at the age of 21, he's blindsided by medical news that he only recognizes as devastating when he tells his dad, who's a doctor.
I said, it's a thing called embryonal cell carcinoma, and he was silent. And then he started to cry. And then he said, you've got 3 weeks to live. Like, there's not even a breathing window with it.
21 years old with 3 weeks to live. But remember how Andrew described himself as lucky? His oncologist finds a groundbreaking clinical trial of a brand new drug.
They gave me such a massive dose of it because when the new drug, they don't know how to dose it, so they give you every bit you can tolerate. You know, my weight went from 180 down to 120, bleeding eyeballs, bleeding noses.
Incredibly, not only does Andrew survive, but over the next few years, he thrives, getting a PhD in physics at MIT in Boston, falling madly in love with a girl. Andrew books his 5-year cancer check with a romantic plan.
It was the 20th of December, 1985. The day started with a visit to the cancer clinic.
Andrew plans to pop the question to his girlfriend if he's deemed cancer-free.
I'd prearranged to have a ring put together.
The news is doubly good. The cancer is gone, and the girlfriend said yes. That afternoon, with his new fiancée in tow, Andrew deals with his other medical issue, the hemophilia. He had what was supposed to be a routine appointment. Andrew knew when he walked in that door that it wasn't.
It wasn't just my hematologist or my hemophilia nurse, but there was the head of the hematology department, and there was a lawyer, and there was a security guard, and there was a psychologist. And I went, whoa, what are all these people doing here?
You're standing in this clinic, and there are all these people around, and they look at you and they say, I'm sorry to tell you this, but
you've got HIV. You're infected with HIV.
The public has a right to view this as a mass murder.
There may be thousands of Canadians out there who are HIV positive and don't know it.
If I fed my son poison, I'd be in jail. How come the Red Cross can feed him poison and get away with it?
1985, Andrew Cummings becomes one of 2,000 Canadians infected with HIV-tainted blood. Another 30,000 were infected with hepatitis C. It was and still is Canada's most devastating health scandal.
Because of the use of tainted blood products, these Canadians have been forced to endure a life of pain and suffering.
Many of the victims, like Andrew, severe hemophiliacs who'd been pumping their bodies with contaminated blood 3 or 4 times a week for years. Andrew was infected with both HIV and hepatitis C. You did know with this diagnosis that you were going to have to keep this secret. This was not something you were going to be telling.
Oh, absolutely. It was the most feared and loathed disease on the planet.
You didn't tell your mom?
Didn't tell my mother. Not one single person. Not a brother, not a soul.
Andrew, one of the few surviving hemophiliacs of his generation, has just now found his voice in a tragedy that has gone eerily silent.
We are very rare, and there's only a couple of us left. And you have to bear witness. This happened in Canada, and it's being forgotten, you know, and we can't forget. We can't forget this story.
Everything in the basket except the needle.
And it's this 13-year-old boy, Andrew's own son, who is playing a unique role in keeping the tainted blood scandal in the spotlight.
Most people say maybe follow in your father's footsteps for business. I'm literally following in his footsteps for his life.
Now, Owen, Andrew's son, is neither HIV nor hepatitis C infected. He does, though, play a role in a new play that's opening this week called Tainted. Coming up on Thursday, we'll have more on Owen, the play, as well as how Andrew essentially survived. He is one of the 3% of hemophiliacs who were infected who's alive today because he paid $1 million for medical treatment that saved his life, and we'll have details on that on Thursday.
Extraordinary story. He's one of only 3 still surviving.
97% of all the hemophiliacs, and Andrew describes it as a holocaust of hemophiliacs because they essentially wiped out an entire illness because these people were being injected, transfused with HIV-infected, Hep C infected blood.
I think it's the fear from that original horrible event that still impacts blood service today. I think there's still people who remember that and are reluctant somehow to either give or receive from the Canadian Blood Service.
Here's the really interesting thing, and it's one of the reasons why Andrew is speaking out, as well as the fact that his son is in this incredible play, and that is he fears that the stage has been set right now in this year, 2013, for the exact same thing to happen again, and we'll have more coming up on that on Thursday.
Okay, we'll look forward to that.
I do want to hear your story ideas as well, your comments on the Inside Story. You can reach out to me on Twitter at City Avery. We also have a Facebook page. All you have to do is search the Inside Story with Avery Haynes.
Okay. And the Inside Story, as you know, runs every Tuesday and Thursday here on City News. All segments are up on our website, citynews.ca.